we have? The correlation between the structures and properties helps in discovering new solid material. Like I said you, when we understand the basic properly, we will be able to develop numerous new particles that will be useful for the humankind, correct? So the correlation between structure, what the structure of the solid is and what are the properties of the constituent particle. Are they in random motion? Are they, they are moving to, they are in one direction or they are in random direction? So all these properties, when we understand all these properties and we have proper idea about it, only then we can be, we will be able to discover new solid materials with whatever property we decide. Okay, with our desirable properties like high temperature semiconductors, all these have huge application in today's industry. Okay, companies are making millions and billions of money just by understanding solid properly. Okay, actually scientists are doing that. Okay, I mean the scientists are doing that for a particular company, and all these things commercially happens, so we don't need to think about it. So basically we need to know that they are able to develop when we know, what do we know? When we know the structures and properties, when we know the structures and properties of a solid, we will be able to discover new kind of solid where we desire properties like high temperature semiconductors. Okay, we will be able to develop high temperature semiconductor with different magnetic properties, with biodegradable polymers for packaging, etc. Okay, when we do packaging, right, that substance is also a kind of solid, so we can be able to develop new new products that is environment friendly, that is good for the welfare of the human beings. Okay, you are studying solid state, that you are not studying only for yourself. If you understand it in depth, that will be beneficial for the entire human race. Okay, so yeah, these are the things that you need to, what do we need to do? We need to know before we start the chapter. Now when we have the reason why to study, only then we will be able to understand it properly, right? So now what do we have? What are the contents? Correct. What we shall discuss? We shall discuss different possible arrangement of particles resulting in several type of structure. Like I said you that this is a solid. Okay, so here inside the solid there are many particles, right? Many particles club together and form a solid material. Okay, there are many particles. So when we have to discuss the possible arrangement, how will this be arranged? Will it be in this one direction or will it be in diagonally or perpendicular? We have to understand all those things. We have to, when we understand those things, then we will be able to give a comment on which type of structures are we going to produce, which type of solid structure are we going to produce. Okay, the correlation between the nature of interaction within the constituent particles of solid will also be explored. We will also learn about how the nature of interaction, how these particles are are they attracted or are they in repulsion. Okay, we will be able to understand all these things when we go into the depth of the unit. Okay, how these properties get modified due to structural imperfection or by the presence of impurities. Now, like every human being is not perfect, similarly the solid are also not perfect, but we can upscale ourselves and be a better human being. We can be more compassionate, we can be more humble, and that will make, we can be more kind, that will make us a good human being. We can be more up to date so that we get, we are along we are able to compete in the environment that we are living in. Similarly, even the solid also has some imperfection. Now to make those imperfection into perfection, there are lot of things that can be done. Okay, there are impurities which we will be learning in the later portion of the chapter. Okay, now those impurities can be rectified. We can be used, that those impurities can be used for a better cause. Okay, we will learn how we can modify those impurities, how can we modify solid to make it into a more better solid than what it is when we are studying it. Okay, so these are the things that we will be learning in this unit. Now before we start again, now we will go into the chapter. Now before we go into the depth of impurities, and before we go to the packing efficiency, before we go to the different type of unit cells and etc., we need to first understand the thing that we are studying called as the solid state. Okay, we need to have since your class 9, 10, 11 you have been learning about the solid state, different properties of solid state. But sometimes what happens that we think that these are very easy terms, and we don't need to remember it till the end of the eternity. But what it is actually is, we need to actually remember those terms, what solid states are, what are the basic properties of solid state. Only when you know A, B, C, D, then only you can write A for apple, correct? So similarly, when you know what is solid state, what are the basic properties of solid states, then you will be able to learn some conceptual and tough stuffs that will be helpful. Okay, so let us go into the general characteristics of solid states. Cool? So the first thing is, they have definite mass, volume and shape. I hope you are understanding it when I am dictating it, that there is this solid. Okay, we have a solid. This is our solid. This is our solid. They have a definite mass. They have? They have a definite mass. This pen has a definite mass. It has a definite volume and it has a definite shape. Correct. So this is the thing, that they have definite mass, volume and shape. Now they have intermolecular distances are short. Obviously, what do we mean by intermolecular distances? Like always I have been telling you that there are particles. Okay, there are particles. Okay, now there are lot of particles here. Okay, there are lot of, what are these things? These are the particles. These are the particles. Okay, these particles make up our solid. Okay, these are the particles that is making up our solid. Now, when I say intermolecular distances are short, what do we mean? I mean by this, intermolecular distance means the distance between two particles. The distance between two particles is called as intermolecular distance. Okay, so the intermolecular distances are very short. The intermolecular distances are very short, which means that between these two atoms, okay, between these two particles, there is a very short distance. Since there is a very short distance, hence the particles are clubbed together and we are getting our complete solid structure. Okay, intermolecular distances are very short and intermolecular forces are very strong, which means that when the particles are, the distance between the particles are very less. So what does this mean? This means that the particles are joined together tightly. That means that the intermolecular force is more. Correct, which means that the intermolecular force between these particles is too good. Okay, this is the what did I make? I made this is my intermolecular force. Intermolecular force. Understood? Okay, intermolecular forces are strong. Next, what do we have? Their constituent particles, atoms, molecules or ion have fixed position. Obviously, since they are very close to each other, which means that they are in a fixed position, right? Obviously, they are in a fixed position, therefore they are clubbed together and they have intermolecular distances short and intermolecular forces are more. That means that these constituent particles, they have a fixed position, and in their fixed position they are rotating like this. Okay, they are rotating like this. They are rotating about their mean position. Okay, they are oscillating about their mean position. They are incompressible and rigid. Obviously, can you compress this pen? If you try to give lot of pressure, then the pen will break. Correct. We cannot compress it. We cannot compress it and keep it as it is. Okay, so they are incompressible and rigid means it is sometimes, is it easy to move a big stone? Is it easy to move this big stone? that carries about 50 kg or 100 kg or 200 or 250 or 500 kg, is it easy to move it? Is it easy to push it? Obviously no, which means that is what is rigidity. The जो नहीं चाहता है अपने जगह से हिलना, okay, that is our rigidity. Okay, so they are very rigid, that is it is very difficult to push a huge solid substances. Okay, so these were the general characteristics of our solid state.